it's a bird.
It's a plane.
No, it's a fat white guy!
An exasperated mad hatted pumpkin, the exaggerated swagger of a white 20-something. His belly full of alcoholic rum gin, vodka, beer, whiskey, shake it out, no vomiting. But his glasses are the truth of the matter. He look in the mirror, all he do is get fatter. Attracted to his money like cheese to a cracker, making shit videos, cause it's only manufacturers.
This video contains very minor spoilers for Superman. You could still watch this before watching the movie, but if you're one of those people that wants to go in 100% blind, well, here you go. You're welcome. Run off, you little freak. I'll see you back here when you watch it. Go ahead. Go. Anyway, I think it doesn't take a genius to say that the world is pretty bleak right now. Regardless of your objectively correct political opinions, it seems like everyone, no matter their ideology, is having a bad time right now. War is rampant, politicians are getting more corrupt than ever, and everyday people are getting more and more radicalized and vindictive by the second. Algorithms across all social media apps are beginning to favor rage-baiting content that serves no purpose other than to rile people up. And you know what the worst part is? Most of the time, it's not even fucking funny. It's usually just the most abhorrent take you've ever seen, said with no sauce, no passion, no nothing.
The whole joke here is the nigger word. Let's laugh out loud in the comments, you guys.
The 2020s will be a decade defined by everyone being a boring, miserable, angry cunt. Old heads will be quick to tell you that these things are persistent across all generations, and that the 2020s are nothing new. So maybe I'm just being a typical Zoomer and talking out of my ass when I say this, but I can't deny that people seem way less happy now than when I was a kid. Why is that? Well, it could be a lot of different things: a shifting political landscape, the rise of social media, general quality of life declining, but I think an unsung aspect of life that's made us more doom and gloom is that there aren't many good representations of kindness in media anymore. Think about how many famous people you know that amass an audience on just being a terrible person. Think about how many politicians are abandoning that we pretend we care attitude and just fully leaning into depravity. And lastly, think about how many modern day protagonists are prioritized to be badass or cool instead of just being a good person. Sure, if you look around hard enough, you'll find examples of the latter, but we haven't had a blockbuster hit in a while that really showcased a true example of what a peak good guy looks like. That was until Superman dropped earlier this year. I loved this movie way more than I was expecting, to be honest. What I think I liked most, however, was its message. On the surface, it's just a story about Superman saving the day as usual, without all the Christian evangelical stuff that Zack Snyder was trying to do. And that's all it really needed to be for some people, including myself. I love a good popcorn flick. It's even better when you sneak alcohol into the theater. There's a lot of things surrounding this movie, though, that make certain creative decisions it made incredibly bold and inspiring for the year in which it released. And today, I just kind of wanted to talk about it. That, and I'm trying to strike while the iron's hot. What's happening? It's your boy Dity. Welcome back to Dity Minis, a show where I talk about pieces of media that I find kind of interesting. We're going to talk about Superman today, and how he can inspire us to become better people. I say us, but I'm more so talking about you guys. I still sell crack under a bridge.
'Cause I'm a punk rocker, yes I am.
Counterculture. The primal urge to stick it to the man is buried somewhere deep within all of our skulls, and the way some of us choose to do it is through creating media, art, music, stand-up comedy, movies, social media posts. From The Simpsons satirizing the goody two-shoes TV families of the late 80s to Peter Griffin fighting Donald Trump, creatives love to go against the norm and challenge the ideas of the people currently in charge, and this defiance of modern conventions is the foundation behind one of the biggest movements in counterculture: punk rock. You might have heard this song in relation to the movie recently, Punk Rocker by Teddy Bears and Iggy Pop. It plays as a needle drop at the very end of the movie, acting as an unofficial theme for our favorite Big Blue Boy Scout, kind of like Something in the Way was for Batman. You might also be thinking to yourself, hey, Wouldn't Starman have been a better choice for that? I mean, it was the song used in all those Superman memes a couple months ago. Surely that would have made some more sense, and I would have been right there with you if it wasn't for me realizing that picking this song was a genius move on James Gunn's part. A punk rock anthem at first might not seem like the best choice for a Superman movie. He's far from the brash, loud, and vulgar figures that the genre is usually synonymous with. That's because right now, society is brash, loud, and vulgar. We've gone from artists shouting obscenities at the American government to the American government shouting obscenities at artists. And what would be the natural contrast to this new brazen kind of conformity? Kindness. In a world where everyone is a miserable asshole, being kind is now the abnormality, the outlier, the punk. Lois refers to herself as a punk rock girl early in the film, to which Superman jokingly retorts that he's punk rock too. And you know what? Maybe he is. Superman might not be the most badass character ever, but he's the only modern blockbuster hero I've seen who stops fighting a kaiju only to prevent the death of a squirrel. He's constantly saving people throughout this movie, and even if he doesn't save everyone, it's clear that it's his priority over beating up the bad guys or upholding his reputation. Superman is cool because he actually gives a shit. Superman is cool because he's a good guy. That's why this punk rock angle works. It's not meant to be taken at face value. It's meant to be viewed as a metaphor for the times. It's a parallel to the juxtaposition of the punk rock bands of old and the times they lived in versus now. In 2025, it should be cool to be a good person because it seems like everyone's telling you not to do it. And what's more punk than doing what the bigwigs don't want you to do?
Beer. Yes! Oh, yes! Well, I'm a punk rocker, yes I am.
The people in charge right now don't want you to have heroes. Look at all the people propped up with huge fan bases on the web right now, and look at their modus operandi for success. Alpha men make millions from hopping on podcasts, telling you to hate women and minorities, and tricking you into joining their exclusive online school for the price of a week's worth of food. Chatbots fill their comment sections with hate speech in a desperate attempt to make you a more hateful individual. Rapists are getting away with abhorrent crimes and are walking away from years in jail with their fan base still intact. Hell, you're watching me right now, and I literally told you 5 minutes ago that I sell crack. It goes deeper than that, though. When we do get someone we can look up to as a paragon of good, people think it's boring. And granted, they're not wrong for thinking that sometimes. A lot of kind characters, especially in Hollywood productions, aren't always well written. A lot of them fall into Mary Sue category, and audiences start to grow tired of it. This leads to producers trying to subvert expectations when writing pre-existing nice characters like Superman, and making their own, better, more complicated version of him. People like to call this the evil Superman trope, but I think that term is kind of a harsh generalization because not every character defined by this trope is evil. They're just Supermen with varying degrees of gray morality, from Zack Snyder Soup's aura farming before throwing Zod into a building full of people to Homelander being, you know. They're characters that were made with the intention of being a quote-unquote realistic portrayal of what would happen if a guy like Superman existed in the modern world. If a guy was sent to Earth with a birthright destiny to conquer the planet and had the powers to do it, I'm also pretty sure he would have ended up like Omni-Man. This is the case for a lot of the evil Supermen we saw from the 2010s, a decade defined by its obsession with realism, to the point where I think we as audience members forgot how good idealism could be. Sometimes audiences don't want an anti-hero or a villain. Sometimes they want someone they can look up to. See what I did there?
'Cause I'm a punk rocker, yes I am.
Superman couldn't have been released at a better time. Call this glazing all you want, but I'd like to think James Gunn knew this too. Not only did we get this film after a decade of anti-heroes and villains being front and center in the media, but we got it after they were shoved into the limelight of our real world too. This movie's take on the character of Superman is incredibly basic on the surface, being the goody two-shoes we've known him to be from comics and cartoons, but I think that's what makes him so refreshing here. It's just a genuine, authentic take on a character that we need now more than ever. This is going to seem like a weird segue, but I promise you it's somewhat related. I worry for my generation of men and boys. I really do. They're going into a scary world and are constantly dealing with things that put them down, like shitty dating apps, extreme leftists on Twitter who want them dead, the upcoming World War III draft, and I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't blame them for falling into the alt-right grifter pipeline sometimes. It sucks to see, sure, but can you really blame them with all these algorithms and For You pages shoving that shit in their face? These men that lift them up and tell them they're great and that it's only big woke keeping them down? These men that tell their young, impressionable teen audience that you don't need to worry about anyone else but yourself? Yeah, I wonder what those guys thought of this movie.
Well, hello there again, YouTube. It's me, the Critical Drinker, and I'm here to tell you about the latest James Gunn Superman movie and about its message. Personally, I didn't know how I'd feel about this movie after I saw that it was moving away from the aura-farming Superman of old created by Zack Snyder, a man I'd personally love to give a big sloppy blowjob to. Come to my surprise, it's much more woke than anticipated. First of all, this Superman is a soy boy cock. What happened to manly men in movies? I can't stand this golden retriever energy. I want to punch him in the face. Secondly, and this is the most important flaw of them all, Superman quite literally helps dismantle a fictional version of Israel called Boravia. Well, I think the movie is pretty brave to think that they can stand up against the mighty Benjamin Netanyahu. A man I have a deep respect for. I have 3 million subscribers.
What a fucking shocker, they hated it. Wow. Who could have seen that coming? They can't fathom that there's a great movie out there that dares to tell young men that it's okay to care about others. It's okay to help people. It's okay to be a good person. It's okay to stand up to injustice. And it's okay to be a giant goofball while you do it. That's why I think this movie really matters. During any other time in history, I think James Gunn's Superman would have just been viewed as a pretty good blockbuster film. Great, but nothing we haven't seen before in the past. After so much hate and vitriol has been spread throughout the world though, I can't deny that the timing of this film's release was perfect. If you take anything away from this video, take away this. In a time full of Homelanders, Omni-Men, and Brightburns, be a punk rocker. Be a Superman. Alright, now it's time for me to remind you that you're watching a YouTube video and I need to pay rent. Engagement check!
Enjoying the video? Here's your engagement check. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to support this channel and give commodity money to pay for insulin.
But why do I need to do all that? Isn't my view enough?
Viewing alone is great, but doing these 4 things pushes this video in YouTube's algorithm. And if you made it this far, here's this video's prompt of the day.
Comment something that you liked about the new Superman movie, or did you even watch it? Maybe you're just watching this to support me, and I appreciate you. I see you. I see you. That's pretty much it for today, though, guys. Thank you all for watching. Just remember the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Like, share, comment, follow, all that shit. I got somewhere to be. I'll see you all next week.
Get a job, Cracker.
Bitch! And you know we run the city, bitch! How much I gotta pay for a titty pic?
Got motherfucking damn commodity. Guess what? Chester Stone finna get a crib soon, dude.
Hi,
God is
Chester
good
Stone.
all the
Can you
time.
say subscribe
And I got
to
a girlfriend named Stella. Look.
Why aren't you
Don't we
saying
make
it?
a perfect
Why
couple?
I'm paying you to say subscribe to
Goddamn
Commodity. Why